All right, so I literally just pressed stop recording and start recording. So welcome back. It's like 2 seconds for me in real time, but it's been probably a few days or so for you guys. So welcome back to the channel. I hope that you're doing all right. Hope you're having a beautiful day. We are listening to Focus. We are going to listen to the next two tracks here on the album. Let me pull it back up here. I know I just said it was a few seconds ago, but you know, I misclicked somewhere else. So we're going to listen to the title track, which is Moving Waves, and then the next track, Focus 2. We had just listened to Le Clochard and Janice, and those were two beautiful transcendental tracks to kind of lead us into what I can only assume are the hills of the album before we move into side 2, which is the eruption of the hills of the volcano. So I'm excited to see where this goes. I hope that you guys are enjoying the music. Thank you as always for being here. It's so weird when, for me, it's been like a minute since the last ones, and for you guys it's probably been a few days, maybe a week. I don't know. I never know how I upload these things. Let's go ahead and get into it, guys. I'm gonna play the ending of Janice and let it lead into the next two tracks as we go forward. Let's go. Okay. Interesting. See, I thought that the last two tracks, which are just so peaceful and so mellow, would be valleys to the hills of these last two tracks. But they're not. These last two tracks are just as atmospheric, but yet still just as powerful as the other ones. Interesting. I'm still thinking then at least Eruption, the last track on the album and on side two. I guess that's going to be like the big. That's going to be the big finale. You know, if Hocus Pocus was their big thrasher and energetic track, and that's the only one on side one, then Eruption has to be bringing out that side of them again, that wild side. Okay, these two tracks, once again, felt really, really good, especially Focus 2. But what I noticed about these two tracks is that they had a little bit of a theater kind of feel. So, Moving Waves felt like a character on stage, under the spotlight. It's just him, the darkness, and the audience. And he's almost having a soliloquy with himself on top of this really nice piano music, which I really enjoyed the classical nature of the piano and how that's played. There was a specific run in there that started about halfway through, and it sounded kind of familiar to me as if I heard it in some other piece of classical music, but I don't know enough classical music at all, nowhere near to be able to tell you even where I think it's from. Let me see if really quick I can find exactly where that was. Right here. This sounds like something from a very classical piece of music. And it's not the exact same notes, but it's those same kinds of runs. And I know it's like a really, really popular piece. I don't know if it's like an old classical piece or like a modern one or something, but it sounds so familiar. And I can hear it in my head, but I could not even guess at the title or anything like that. But it's the same kind of runs with similar notes, not the exact notes, but similar. It's such a beautiful piece of music, though. I can hear it. But yeah, Moving Waves was like a nice soliloquy, right? Then we kind of got back into Focus. Sorry for the pun. Here, as we moved into Focus 2, which guitar-wise, purely anthemic. I love those long lead notes that are sustained throughout. So that's beautiful. And this is also extremely progressive at the same time, a little jazzy, but once again keeping that same mellow atmosphere throughout. Even as the drums occur and begin their beats, he solos, but it's not a hard solo, it's a soft solo. And these guitar leads, once again, are wonderfully anthemic. These are the kind of notes that make you feel something. Typically, right? Those kind of notes have to be earned. You can't just put, long climactic moments in your music anywhere. They have to be earned from the music you built up before. And listening to the album, I think that this is a wonderful resolution, at least to the first side, because you got the hard hit in the opener. And everything else is not a downhill journey in quality, but in mood. And that mood is sustained and then just barely elevated a little bit here in the climax. So it's a nice pick-me-up. Instead of going to those high highs where we opened with, it kind of brings you up just a little bit. And once again, this is just guessing, but I'm guessing that Eruption is going to take you from this mellow mid into way up here, right? But the guitar is wonderfully played. The drumming, like I said, is a soft and yet hard-hitting kind of nature in the rhythm of it. Love the bass work. Every member gets a moment in the music here. Incredibly jazzy, too. That's wonderful. Now, I gotta say this. When this next section began here, tell me what you guys thought, okay? And I'm not... I couldn't help but think that this would make a really cool James Bond theme. Just hear me out. Hear me out. Name's Bond. James Bond. What? The name's P. JP. All right, I'm being stupid now. But that's a nice little spy sneak around kind of espionage sound you got going on there. That was wonderful. This album, at least the half that we've listened to, is pretty good. Hocus Pocus, that was the first song from Focus I listened to, and I'm sure many other people heard. And then now we're finally getting around to the other tracks here, and I definitely plan to listen to Eruption when You never know. You never know. But I hope that you guys enjoy the music. Thank you as always for being here. You can, of course, come back tomorrow. You're more than welcome. You can check out some of the other videos that I've done here on the channel. You can follow me in a bunch of places, which are all linked below, etc., etc., etc. Have a wonderful day, guys, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye.